like this look, be sure to keep on watching. Today we're going to be doing a get ready with me video while we discuss and review the movie Love and Leashes. I hope you enjoy. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. And for those of you who are new, welcome. My name is Veruca Cyn. I'm a fashion designer and mystic. I actually wanted to do a makeup look where I follow after a TikTok makeup filter. I'm actually recording right now on my phone. This is the look I'm going to go for. And let's see if it works. I'm going to go and put my lenses on, work on my foundation, and I'll be back. So now we have this palette. We are essentially good to go. Okay, so this is what I see. So I'm gonna draw this part. It's gonna look ridiculous, but I'm just following I'm following what the filter is doing. What else is it? And also my cheekbone is contoured even higher than I'm used to. And this part, normal, the usual. What else? I see some contouring here, some contouring here, a little up here, and a little up here. Oh, I feel it here. How does it look like without the filter? So, pretty close. I'm gonna start talking about Love and Leashes. I know you guys are here for the thoughts and reviews about it. Right away, I want to say that it has instantly become my favorite all-time rom-com in a heartbeat. Everything about it is just so well done and filmed. I felt like the show was a really great introduction for BDSM enthusiasts. Where I'm coming from within that scene is I would consider myself an amateur because it was only recently that I decided that BDSM is something I fully want to continue exploring into. Coming from a conservative upbringing, I've always felt kind of weird, like it was alienating to embrace that part of me. What I do know about it, it does look like the movie shows in a nice way how important consent is, that there is always consent within the practices. As for written consent and signed documents, I don't know if that's a thing. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a thing, but I personally think the reason why they used that was because there was some sort of homage to 50 Shades, since they had a contract as well. Wardrobe was really well done. I felt that they used really soft, colored, natural, muted tones to express their mundaneness. I feel their basicness, their most average working woman, business lady, and your average working man. There was a lot of blues, and from a spiritual perspective, blue represents the blue chakra, which is about the throat, and blue chakra is all about communication. So I thought it was really interesting that they chose blue in a lot of the scenes. But a lot of it has to do with communication and the relationship between I think Jiwoo and the other girl. I'm so bad with names. Okay, Jiwoo is the gentleman and Jiwoo is the woman. Okay, I really like the choice of the wardrobe colors and how it contrasted during their intimacy times, where more bursts of brighter colors and bolder colors would be introduced to the wardrobe, such as her infamous leather outfit and her red heels in that nice scene we have. So I blended all my contour. Oh my god, this is so hard. Why did I decide to challenge myself like this while talking about something else on top? I'm like multitasking so much right now. I'm gonna take a floofy brush and run a base color over my lids first with Secret Santa, the Illuminati palette. Okay, I'm gonna do this. Close my eyes. Just the transition is up here. And at the same time, it's odd because I never paint up to here, if that makes sense. And then it goes down. Well, there's Egg Your Soul. Okay, so it's a pretty wide base that it's covering. Interesting. I never do that kind of look. They often wore soft beiges and then light blues, blacks, more so beiges, contrasting with the red heel scene and the BDSM, the whips. Oh my god, Jihu with the BDSM body strap harness. Let me tell you. And I'm gonna darken here. So it goes like this, like a soft C. And it brings it down. I have no idea what this looks like without filter. Okay, it doesn't look bad. Very soft. Honestly, much softer than I'd expect. So I think the color, I'm gonna deepen it. I also appreciate the audio of the movie. They emphasize a lot of moments by increasing the ASMR aspect of it, the element. It would really hone in on the sound effects of the shoe pressing against his back, or whenever the belt was being pulled apart, every time there was like the gripping of leather. It's almost like the audio sense is heightened, not almost, but I know for sure they do, to bring attention to the sensuality. There was not a lot of kissing scenes or like a lot of like genital body parts touching in this compared to other movies like perhaps like 50 Shades of Grey, you know? And so, but it still managed to keep a component of sensuality and like sex appeal, and like the sexual tension was definitely there. Maybe perhaps for the actors and actresses, or maybe the director, kissing the feet perhaps may have not been the most risque thing for them to do. And I'm speaking on behalf of the Asian culture, and especially being raised in an Asian family. Upright kissing and showing PDA like that, or even like making out, is really intense, right? And that is what I noticed that they saved till the end of the movie. Near the end, where the climax is happening, Jihu leans in to kiss Jiwoo, and I think that it marked a very monumental aspect of their relationship together, since he did formally kiss her before in the car, and it was more of an endearing puppy love sort of way, and it initiated another level. Of course, that's the first level of really truly deepening the emotional bond between them. And then one last time before he explains to Jihu or Jiwoo why he couldn't date, because he referred to her as a son, you know. And I think it's like, I know it seemed very dramatic in the movie, but if we were to relate that in real life, I think that sort of self-sabotaging thinking of like not feeling like you deserve someone is more common than we expect. And I can definitely confidently speak on that behalf, as I've been someone who's been there before and thought like that as well. So it was really believable as a character for Jiwoo to be like that. Is it Jiwoo or is it Jihu? I'm mixing it up now. Jihu. Jihu is the boy. I know a lot of people gave 50 Shades of Grey slack for seemingly, what's that word? Oh, they're not consensual and all that stuff, and I get it. I totally get it. There wasn't consent. It was just forced onto the other person in a way. Even though they did have some sort of consent, a lot of people they had qualms with it, thinking that it wasn't really a true reflection of BDSM. And I do agree it's not, because BDSM has a lot of proper etiquette. He kind of went 0 to 1,000 with her. So what I do like about Love and Leashes is that what was I talking about? I forgot. Oh, they're both newcomers to BDSM. Like, I mean, Jihu has been in the closet about BDSM for a long time, and he came out due to a misunderstanding to Jiwoo. Jiwoo is new to BDSM, but she's open-minded, and I really enjoyed how the movie brought you through a journey of the learner's mindset, and they cover the most foundational basic backgrounds of what the acronyms of BDSM stands for. And I feel like that's something that's missing a lot in 50 Shades of Grey. This wasn't meant to be a comparison, but just those are the two I've mostly watched and enjoyed. I like them both for their own sake. Oh, so what I wanted to mention is I also personally enjoyed elements of how they blended their personal traumas from relationships into the engagement with one another as their connection developed. And why I said that is because I feel like they did a really good they did a really good cinematography on portraying double meanings in words, and as well as puns within the context of the situation. There are many times they would use example of Jihoon's ex-girlfriend and how toxic she was to him. And when Jiwoo entered and came into the room, not came into the room, where she was cleaning up his cuts on his back after whipping him, a good whipping session, he was totally expecting her to be like, oh, I don't understand. As in, like, she doesn't understand why he would be so into finding kink, like pain as a release of feeling alive. And he immediately assumed that rejection and just said, yeah, I totally understand. Only to realize what she meant was, no, I don't understand why your ex-girlfriend couldn't do something that just made you happy if she knew this is what would bring you elation or like joy. And that was like a really telltale moment that he fell for her even more. And these really smooth transitions are so well thought out, especially the spanking scene where he was breathing onto the mirror, really hot, and the camera does a full 180, or is it 360, where it turns onto the other side of the two-way plexiglass mirror, and it shows from his perspective. That was so creative editing. They used a really good choice of vibrant reds tones in the kinky scenes. It starts spicing up and gets more and more bold as we go along, and I think that's really amazing. I also felt there were, at the beginning of the scene, it would show Jiwoo fantasizing about Jihoon kissing her feet, and it made me think about how nice it was that BDSM was being portrayed in a way that it didn't always have to have a certain aesthetic. It didn't have to look a certain way, you know what I mean? Like, just because people are into BDSM and kink doesn't automatically mean they would have like crazy edgy makeup, crazy edgy outfits or whatnot. They're just regular everyday people who go to work and, you know, find fulfillment in an office job, and they have kink and it's okay. Like, I personally felt, even if it wasn't intentional, I personally felt like they were normalizing BDSM culture and BDSM lifestylers, even aspiring ones, in a way that's visually contrasting, rather than every time you think about BDSM you think about chokers with spikes. He has a Miho choker, which is really cute, but the scenes where she was sensual about him, she was always imagining like her bare foot against his back, or the moments make contact face to face, like making out, or there were other moments where she, instead of imagining the heels on his back, it's her foot. And or when he's kissing her feet, it wasn't from like dressed up as a dog or whatever, like dog pet play. He was actually dressed up normal, like a gentleman, like at work or whatever, normal clothes, kissing her feet. And I thought that was really cool, that the intention there wasn't just, oh, kissing those feet because you're being cute and endearing, like how Jihoon's ex-girlfriend thought, but literally coming from the intention of, I am dom and you are sub. And yet at the same time the aesthetic is very natural, and I thought that was bomb. Okay, so I put some highlights and I think it's starting to look a bit more like it. So I put it down a little too low. The highlight's actually higher, so it makes my nose more upturned, I suppose. Use a fan brush, because the same shadow on my eyeshadow is on my face. And I usually put it up here, but they put the highlighter on the ball of my cheeks. It's like literally underneath my eye. I'm not here to judge what's right or wrong. I'm trying something different, and I am seeing that it looks exactly like the filter, which is blowing my mind because I never put my makeup in this manner. I'm gonna skip over to this. Okay, I'm gonna bring it closer to the lash line and bring it up. It's funny that it's actually intensifying the filter. I have never done my makeup like this before, but I actually really like it. I'm glad I did this. I'm gonna take my Lunar New Year palette, take Red Panda. I'm gonna dip it in with a little bit of Mandarin. I also really enjoyed how they had Jiwoo not be only the main character as the female protagonist, but also convey her a non-traditional, a more aggressive, bold, courageous woman. And how I really liked how they touched upon the topics of how women should always be more gentle or more soft, and how she should be more flirtatious or more feminine ways, and how her behavior is very intimidating and seen as a turnoff. And then we see that it's actually the perfect dynamic for her and Jiwoo to be together, because he loves women who are dominant and confident and aggressive. So I feel like that showed a very nice special side of relationship dynamics that are perhaps not often portrayed and talked about, to inspire others out there that you can have the relationship dynamic you want. You aren't less of a woman for it, especially seen through the lens of Asian culture and how they perceive women. Next to chocolate brown eyeshadow on the edge of my eyes. That way it's probably more natural than instead of using black gel eyeliner that adds that little wing. I think I'm going to tight line. Following my natural line. One of my favorite, most cringy, embarrassing, over-the-top scenes from Love and Leashes is the scene where they went to the hotel for the first time together, and there's so much sexual tension between them when he was eating from her hand that when moanings are happening next door, Jiwoo just started frantically barking like a dog, like crazy. And I don't feel like that may necessarily be something that happens in real life. I think maybe most people would be more calm than that. They did that for like entertainment's sake. I don't feel like pet play would resort to the point where they would bark like crazy and like non-stop, like uncontrollable. But I definitely thought that was it's like talking about important, serious things with humor. And I think that's what Love and Leashes did a really good job at doing, especially when it comes to people who may not be as open-minded or sexually or comfortable in their sexuality, to talk about it without feeling awkward, and introducing a lot of these new kinks in a way that's both in moments that are sensual and then also very funny. I think is a nice way to be playful towards the dynamics of BDSM and introducing it to newcomers who might even identify themselves as a kinkster and didn't know they were into it until they explored it, you know? Definitely bringing them down is different. I'm always bringing them up, and this is getting me to make puppy eyelashes instead. Puppy eyes. Puppy eye look. I feel like down here is one, and then they go up. Corally peachy. I don't know how I'm going to use this. This is the closest. It kind of went across my nose. Like that. A little bit up here. Okay, that's it. I think this is the dark red I have in mind though from NYX. It's like inside red. Like this. And then they kind of spit it out. If that makes any sense to you guys. Soft lip is weird on me. Oh, here's a darker one. Cherry Bomb by Wet n Wild. I'm gonna use this and see what happens. Oh yeah. And then I think it's not even supposed to be this dark, but I think it matches with the brown on top a bit better. It's not as sculpted as I would like, so I'm gonna go back and do that too. Powder, I'm not gonna use contour powder because I'm using cream a lot. So going over cream with powder would be bad. Once it's set, it's good, but if I'm gonna go back in with another cream, it's not good. Can't go back and forth. Not really a good idea. And I'm gonna darken this again. Go like this again. Contour, but I like it. It does bring out a different shape on my face than I'm used to. I can't help but feel like my skin is also glowing in this video. I really think the face mask did wonders. I should do face masks more often. Soften this line here. Dip it lightly under this powder, and I'm gonna trace out an imaginary eye bag. Oh, aerosol! Do you see that? Whoa, I look so different now. I feel like a whole new woman. That's what was missing, the aerosol. But this whole time, I'm gonna go and do my hair and I'll be back. I wanted to praise it for the detail that Ji-hoo as a character mentions at the end of the movie, where he emphasizes on his needs and desires in a DS relationship does not mean it will automatically jump to a conclusion of needing sexual intercourse. That it's more than that. And him on a on a romantic level, it's much slower, and he emphasizes that the dynamic, it shows very beautifully their relationship together. A romantic connection can move at a much slower pace versus how a DS dynamic can play out, because I feel like fundamentally they're two separate components. Having that sort of really deep emotional connection versus, oh, I wanted to bring up that they were using their, they weren't realizing it, but they were, from a spiritual perspective too, an observational perspective, I believe they were using their kinks as a way to cope with trauma and to heal from it. So they found healing through BDSM together in this dynamic, and I think that's a very beautiful and not often talked about aspect of BDSM. But yeah, that is all I have to say about Love and Leashes. I certainly recommend you to watch it if you haven't already. I absolutely love it and give it 5 out of 5 bunny heads. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me today, and let me know what you think of this makeup look. Is it to your expectation? Is it everything that you dreamed for in the look? If you enjoyed this content and would like to watch similar things like it that I've done in the past, check this video out. That being said, I'll see you later. Bye.